What I was talking about was like, um, I was just thinking back when I just like finished high school, parents, teachers, just constantly asking, so what do you want to be? What do you want to do with your life? And I was scared to say, I don't know. I like, I really fucking had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Nothing. They said, "Oh, why don't you be a doctor?" That's not appealing to me. Um, why don't you be like a tour guide for like zoos or something? I don't want to do that. I just don't know. And where I'm trying to lead with this is, I think that I don't know comes from just not experiencing enough. Like you haven't had enough time for yourself. Like you haven't discovered what you want.
Right.
Because in high school, think about it. Fucking learn algebra. Go read this book and then write an essay about it. What other subjects was it? There was history. Yeah, go learn about World War II and stuff. And the thing about the traditional education system, what they really, really fail at doing is um, really helping the kids understand how this will help them later on in life.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure millions of people around the world keep on asking, when the hell am I going to use insert subject in life? And you're constantly like just questioning, and it's kind of like you're a sheep in a herd. This gets thrown around so much, but you're literally being like tamed on what to do, and you can't really think for yourself. The teachers are giving you material so you can study, so you can memorize it essentially, and then take a test on it. So you're taking a test of material that you memorized, but years later, you don't remember what you just been studying. And this is like everyone in college. Like right now, there's a lot of people that are graduating college, and there's a video that's getting shared around a lot. They're sharing it because they can relate to it, and it's this video. 12, like basically the overall concept of the video is what I learned in college. And then it just had like a bunch of clips of like leadership. Oh yeah, here, DD throws you the fucking keys, you're driving. And all this stuff, and like math, counting fucking the bill for you at the bar. So little things like that. And to go back where just like not knowing what you want to do with your life, that's the thing. You need to experience more of life so you can decide where you want to take your life later on. And that's the thing I keep on preaching. You need to go travel, and then you need to do that while you're young because you can afford to take the risk. You don't have a family first of all, because when you have a family, you basically live for your family. You have kids, you can't basically travel overseas and have a baby with you, and then you're sleeping in a hostel. Like what the fuck? You just can't do that. So where I'm trying to get at is you need to travel during this period. I know that college seems like the only option, but it's not. It's just not. It just seems like that. And if you have this feeling in your gut that there's just something wrong, you have to listen to that. You have to trust yourself over everyone else, because that little feeling is telling you something. But what the sad thing is, people allow the voices of others to drown their own voice. So they listen to everyone else. Then they start like going down this path that doesn't align with where they see themselves. So when you travel more, you're experiencing more, you're meeting people from around the world, you're seeing all these places around the globe, trying all different type of foods, get into all these type of conversations, and then you meet people that have similar interests in you. You're discovering your passions. You're discovering what interests you. You just have so much freedom. And here's the thing, freedom. That's something that we all miss out on a lot. We don't have really freedom in high school. We're being told what to do all the time. But when you have the freedom of when you travel, it gives you a freedom to discover more about yourself, freedom to do whatever you want, the freedom to like meet whoever you want, travel wherever you want. And I think that's why everyone just loves travel so much, because they're experiencing that. It's like a deep human desire that's been ripped away from us, and it sucks to see that. So when you start traveling more, you're having more conversations, you meet some random stranger in a hostel or on your boat trip, and then you get into this deep conversation, and you just like, oh, what? yeah, I like talking about that. You go in deeper and deeper, and then you like exchange ideas. You guys talk about, oh, where'd you learn that from? And then next thing you know, you have that freedom. You're not preoccupied with an exam to study for in like a few months' time that will dictate the rest of your life. So you go into that subject and you start diving deeper into it. Then you're like, oh, whoa, I really enjoy making films. Well, shit. You wouldn't have fucking found that out if you were just going to college to become a psychologist or some shit because everyone else is doing it. You got that because you travel around the world and you got to explore more about yourself and meet people who have similar interests as you. Sure, you can argue that college, they have similar interests, which is, I say this all the fucking time. Most of society does not go to college to get a degree. They just fucking go there to party. That's a huge thing that everyone goes to, including myself back in the day. If you really think about it, no one really is like super excited to wake up at like 8 a.m. to go to class. That's the fucking worst. You just like partied the night before. It was thirsty Thursdays, wasted Wednesdays, and then you like have to wake up early and you're like, ah, fuck. And then you have so much resistance to wake up and you just want to go back to bed. What's that telling yourself? What's that telling to your subconscious? Something's fucking wrong. But people skip class or like, fuck it, let's just get high, let's just get drunk fucked up over the weekend and all this shit. And it's just not the fucking way to go. I see it all the fucking time. Here's a huge key that helped me out, that changed the course of my life. Be more aware of the common patterns that you keep on hearing, that keep on repeating itself. So common patterns I saw. A lot of people going to college in the US, getting into massive debt, and then they can't even find a fucking job because their degree didn't promise a high-paying job once they graduated. So that's a common thing I saw. I saw people who pursued a degree in psychology and then they end up getting a job that had nothing to do with that. And it's just like, what the fuck? Why would I want to do that? And then I saw another common thing. Once you graduate from college, and then you can go travel around the world. And then the funny thing is now I live this life and just travel around. I meet a lot of these people and see them. They have the fucking time of their lives. They're having so much fun. They're like connecting with like people from around the world. They can't believe they're like talking to someone down from Australia. They only heard their accent from a movie, and people from Australia hear American accents from the movies. They're like, oh, whoa, you have an American accent. You're best buddies. And then you do that for a few months. You don't really know how to manage your money. School doesn't teach you like that type of stuff, but they can teach you how to memorize these definitions and words and physics and stuff like that. But that time when they're on vacation, that little reward comes to an end after a few weeks or months, depending on how excessive they spend. And then they have to enter the real world. Now they're flying back home, depressed off their ass, like, fuck, I wish like I could just do that all over again. I guess this is just it. It's not true. It's not fucking true. It's not it. The fact that you experience all that and can really see what the world has in store for you, you just, for the first time in your life, you realize that your home country is so much smaller than everywhere else. There's people from around the world. You think you're falling asleep, wasted. There's someone on the opposite side of the world that's fucking like snowboarding or kite surfing or something like that. The world is fucking massive, and it's such a shame that people don't go and explore it. It's such a fucking shame. And of course those excuses come up like, oh, it's too expensive. That's bullshit. There's so many fucking people that proved it wrong. Myself is one of them. But it's so inexpensive to travel the world these days. And I tell people all the time, they ask me, what's that one tip? What's that one tip that will help me to create a life like your own? And I tell them, you have to be fucking obsessed. That's it. You gotta fucking really want it. And I repeat this shit a lot. You know, like I repeat it a lot because it's so true. You have to be obsessed with traveling the world to make it happen. If you just kind of want it, you're not gonna get it. For me, I'll talk a bit more about my experience. During my depression period, trying to transition into this traveling around full time, there were so many countless nights, like for months, almost a whole full fucking year, where I was laying in bed at 2 a.m. in the morning, just questioning everything. I was just questioning, is this even fucking possible? Jesse, should you just go back and just get a job? Why is it that you feel so alone? Is there something wrong with you? Maybe you should go back to college because everyone else is doing it, because they don't know what else to do, so they just like, oh, okay, let's get another fucking degree. So that cycle just repeated over and over and over again, and it was a very tough thing. But things I kept on repeating to myself was, you've gone too far to come out empty-handed. You got to prove these people that are doubting you. You have to. You don't want to look like a fucking idiot. You have to make this happen. You gotta try to make it happen, like if your life depended on it. And my life really did depend on it. Like I felt those years that I wasn't traveling the world, I was kind of like, my soul was eating me alive. I just felt like down. Something was missing out of my life. And what sucks is that voice that I really wanted to travel. I've always wanted to travel for like as far as I can remember. But it's just, I forgot that. I lost touch with it because my mind has been conditioned by everyone else. And it was a very difficult thing. And now I'm trying to break away from all that. And I'm not like surrounded by other people who want the same as me. And I started questioning everything. And it was just a fucking like, that was a lot of behind the scenes things to how I've been able to accomplish this. But that's the shit I had to go through. Countless nights questioning everything, wanting to give up. And I just did that over and over again. And that's the reason why I can do what I do now. And it comes full circle, because if I didn't go through those tough times, I wouldn't appreciate what I have right now. I would not at all. You can imagine, you can go to like a rich area in your home state or country, meet those local kids that are coming from a wealthy family. They can eat a fucking steak meal and just don't give a shit. They can get like a Mercedes. They don't care. Like, oh, I wanted a blue one. Why'd you give me a black one? Like, petty little things like that. But because you go through those hard times, for me, it was like those times when I was so fucking lonely, no friends, no social lives, a fuckload of social anxiety. And then flash forward, once I've made that happen, all that is in the past. That's not my current living. That's not my reality. And I just look back on that, and it really leaves me speechless. Like whenever I think about it, still right now too. Actually, like just thinking, like I have a rush of experiences coming to my mind right now, and what I feel, which is pretty insane, is the fact that because I decided to do it at such a young age, despite like how no one else did it, or not many people are putting themselves out there to share their story at least, it's so rewarding. And I've collected so many experiences in a short period of time, and those experiences made me who I am, and I've changed a lot because of it. I've matured a lot from it as well. I've been just changed who I am basically, because of it, because I listened to that gut feeling and decided to do what I was scared of, essentially. Well, I really wanted to do it. Fear was there, but you gotta have squashed that fear by proving it wrong. And the only way to prove that wrong was to really jump in and sink or swim, burn the boats. So yeah, I just went on a fucking massive tangent. I hope people listening to this video will enjoy it. So yeah, see you next time.